As we approach the next decade of this millennium, it is clear that our world has witnessed sweeping changes during the past few years. Foremost on the minds of many concerned citizens are the global effects of climate change, which have led to the loss of myriad sacred lives and untold suffering. At this pivotal juncture, we are greatly blessed with individuals and organizations who have dedicated themselves to help save the planet. They are the world's heroes, named or unnamed. Now, more than ever, our Earth is in need of such voices of reason, courage, and compassion. This six-part series is an exploration of the immense contribution of a special individual whose life is an extraordinary example of unconditional service. Supreme Master Ching Hai is a spiritual teacher, humanitarian, and artist whose journey in the public eye has spanned more than 20 years. Her noble love has been manifested through her generous philanthropy. Her tender mercy has transformed humans' understanding of other beings, and her brilliant artistry has profoundly reminded us of our yearnings for the kingdom of God. In humanity's most challenging hour, Supreme Master Ching Hai is a shining light of hope, perseverance, and faith. Her message has touched the lives of countless people, bringing love and inner awakening to all corners of the globe.
It was a rainy night in a remote town in Formosa, or Taiwan, in a tiny room behind a temple, where the ashes of the deceased were stored as part of the Buddhist tradition. A young practitioner was deep in meditation. Outside, the persistent typhoon was raging. Suddenly, a group of people knocked on the door. Still drenched from the rain, they earnestly explained to her that they had vivid visions in which Kuan Yin Bodhisattva, also known as the Goddess of Mercy, appeared to them and told them to find an enlightened master in this secluded place. It never occurred to the humble renunciate to be anyone's teacher, and she tried to turn the visitors away. But the seekers were sincere, and after their repeated requests, she compassionately acquiesced. She showed them an ancient meditation method that would bring them eternal liberation after they first purified themselves for a period with a vegetarian diet and noble demeanor. Thus, in the mid-1980s, began the life of a spiritual master fully devoted to the multitude. Supreme Master Ching Hai, as she became known, has since been the constant source of inspiration, encouragement, and guidance for those whose lives have been graced by her presence. Even long before her mission, Supreme Master Ching Hai had been on a destined path. She grew up witnessing the turmoil of a humanity deeply longing for peace. It became her lifelong goal to end the suffering of the world through spiritual enlightenment.
Her search took her all the way into the remotest parts of the Himalayas. There, Supreme Master Ching Hai found a living master, and after a period of diligent practice, she attained full enlightenment. After being discovered on several different occasions by truth seekers, Supreme Master Ching Hai accepted her destiny of helping all those who would come to see her. Soon, earnest disciples grew in numbers, and they were in turn eager to share with others the good news about their master's teachings. Across continents, one invitation followed another for Supreme Master Ching Hai to deliver spiritual lectures. In response, she has selflessly circled the globe to give the gift of the Kuan Yin method of meditation and her teachings all free of charge. In her lectures, Supreme Master Ching Hai explains that all the world's religions originated from the same truth.
There's only one religion, that is the religion of God, of love, of understanding. There's only one church, one temple, that is the temple of enlightenment. Come to that temple, then we know all religions of the world.
She reminds us of the purpose of human life we may have forgotten.
The purpose of human life is to know God. God means their own greatness. Know the whole cosmic power which they themselves are a part.
She teaches that the key to heaven is the birthright of all of us and can be reclaimed as promised by all the great enlightened masters.
The essence of life is love. The essence of God, of Buddha, of Allah is love. There's nothing else but love. When we make the choice of love, that's the highest choice, the noblest choice, which is our true self. We will feel that we are very near to God, very near to Buddha.
Since time immemorial, the Kuan Yin method has been passed on by the masters as a way to enlightenment through the inner light and sound. Supreme Master Ching Hai shares this path through the lectures she has given in many regions of the world.
The light from heaven, which comes through meditation, will be able to shine our path in whichever path we choose to serve the world.
God is the light. God is the love that we feel. God is the music of heaven. He can manifest himself different ways, like Moses, and the voice of thunder, the sounds of many water, the sound of trumpet, and all through the voice of the angel, as our prophet has heard it, or in the burst of flame, big light. These things you can also experience. That I can promise.
She has given lectures in different languages, always considering the needs of every audience she meets.
Because we are one entity, we are all the same. We are like every drop of water in the ocean. 既然每一滴都是特别的，每一滴都是个人的。不过，每一滴也是大海。我们如果要知道自己同一体的话，真正也要知道的，不是说听说，不是说感觉到，而且要真正知道。要真正知道的话，不难。我们只要反过来，反闻自心。 马上就会看到自己的佛性。
Alle Schönheiten, Wahrheiten und Tugenden in dieser Welt dienen nur zur Erinnerung an die wahre innere Welt.
Mình tu hành thành tâm được là đâu phải cái tinh thần tu đâu, cái linh hồn tu chứ.
Qu'est-ce que c'est vraiment l'illumination immédiate? Comment y arriver?
L'illumination immédiate, c'est possible parce que nous avons déjà l'éveil de nous-mêmes. C'est comme le diamant, elle est déjà diamant. Suffisant pour le nettoyer un petit peu et puis elle est là.
Following each lecture, Supreme Master Ching Hai answers questions from the audience about life, birth and death, spiritual cultivation, and the truth. She offers her insights with candid eloquence, patience, wit, and humor. All the while, Supreme Master Ching Hai reminds us that verbal answers are not the ultimate knowledge. We must find our own great power and love within. With this method, people from different nationalities, ages, religions, and walks of life have made great spiritual progress which in turn has brought happiness and peace in their lives.
I cannot put into words what it feels like to have someone who truly, truly loves you for eternity, that will be there no matter what. She doesn't judge you. She doesn't care what your background is. Whatever you've gone through in this life, all she says is, you know, here's the Kuan Yin method. You can take it and you can decide to walk away, free will.
认识师父的时候我就感觉很亲切，我就决心下定决心把毒品戒掉。我现在是几乎是前天都吃素了。我就是学方便在打坐的时候，打坐完人就感觉很轻松什么事情就好像你冥冥之中师父在保佑这样。还有就是心想事成，想什么事情就很顺利这样。谢谢师父没有师父就没有今天的我。
Y me di cuenta que estar un segundo en su presencia es realmente una enseñanza verdadera. Y como estar con ella realmente cambia el destino de nuestra vida.
To truly understand and benefit from this practice and to truly know this marvelous, wonderful being called the Supreme Master Ching Hai, I would recommend that people practice the Kuan Yin method and truly connect with their own inner light and sound with the help and guidance of the Supreme Master Ching Hai and experience it for themselves, because it's so abstract, at the same time so wonderful, and it's beyond description, beyond worldly language, beyond anything of this world, beyond anything that we could ever imagine.
All over the world, members of the Supreme Master Ching Hai International Association are glad to help interested others to experience heaven's boundless love through the spiritual guidance of Supreme Master Ching Hai. These efforts to share the truth include the publication of sample booklets containing excerpts of Supreme Master Ching Hai's spiritual lectures in more than 70 languages. Starting in 2006, people in even greater numbers could view Supreme Master Television, a free global satellite television channel that was created out of the compassionate wish to help uplift the world. A master of modern times, Supreme Master Ching Hai has also encouraged the progress of technologies that benefit humankind and has joined discussions with our association members via internet and video conferences. She has shared not only her spiritual wisdom, but also humanitarian assistance if there is a need.
Wherever she goes, Supreme Master Ching Hai would also beautify the place she stays in. These places include centers where practitioners could come and meditate together. The year 2008 marks the 20th anniversary since the founding of the Shihu Center, where indeed Supreme Master Ching Hai's beautifying presence can be seen and felt. Formosa, Taiwan, is a place she has had a deep affinity with, as with her birthplace of Olac, Vietnam. Olac is the ancient name of Vietnam and means happiness. The name Formosa, meaning beautiful, is intended to reflect more completely the island and its people. With affection, Supreme Master Ching Hai would use these names to bring spiritual elevation and luck to the lands and their inhabitants. At the same time, her love has transcended all boundaries, with a message that has touched the hearts of millions everywhere.
When I first saw the videos of Supreme Master Ching Hai back in the 1980s, I was immediately struck by her benevolent presence and her relaxed and profound wisdom. As the years have gone by, my respect for her as a spiritual teacher has grown so much that I see her as one of the most brilliant and inspiring lights shining on this earth today. Whenever I become despairing of humanity's blindness and cruelty, I need only think of Supreme Master Ching Hai and her loving and enthusiastic students and all the work they are selflessly doing to promote compassion and peace. and I know she is inspiring a great movement to raise consciousness here on this planet. When people ask me whose spiritual teachings and example I recommend most highly, it is Supreme Master Ching Hai. To me, she is a living miracle.
Supreme Master Ching Hai has dedicated many years to imparting her spiritual wisdom to people in varied places in the world.
Within the span of 3 months in 1993, from March to June, her world tour consisted of 30 public lectures presented in different languages and on different continents, from the Far East to Australia, then to North America, Europe, and back to Asia.
The kingdom of God is not something that is very far away in heaven. It is here right now. And we have them all within ourselves. We only have to unlock it and use it every day. And then we will see how better a person we become, how wise, how loving, and how satisfied a person we will become.
In 1999, Supreme Master Ching Hai lectured in 18 European capitals, and later that year, she also gave public talks in the Middle East and Africa. Since then, she has also given more lectures and international seminars. Less than a decade ago, Kosovo experienced a crisis that echoed all over Europe and the rest of the world. A group of Europeans earnestly requested Supreme Master Ching Hai's presence in the continent in order to bring much-needed words of comfort and wisdom during this most difficult time. Following is a letter by our association members in Geneva, Switzerland, addressed to Supreme Master Ching Hai.
Dearest Master, we need you very much in Europe right now. With this terrible war in Yugoslavia and Kosovo and the 1.4 million refugees it has caused, many people just can't bear to see all the misery and unhappiness anymore on TV every day. We all feel so helpless when faced with so much tragedy. The only positive side to all this human misery is that many people who used to just live from day to day, not caring much what happened around them, are finally waking up and looking for more sense to life. There seems to be a more open attitude towards spiritual matters.
Responding to the urgency and helplessness felt by the people in Europe at the time, Supreme Master Ching Hai accepted the invitations with compassion. During this strenuous tour of daily lectures, Supreme Master Ching Hai traveled by herself from one country to the next. From Portugal to the Nordic countries, to Slovenia, to Russia, Supreme Master Ching Hai sacrificed her personal safety and comfort to bring love to the war-torn region through her precious presence. Many in the audience asked about the cause of the Kosovo War and how to re-establish peace among people. Supreme Master Ching Hai revealed that the ultimate way to lasting peace is through rekindling our own positive power within.
The more people know God, the more people can contact directly with God and become happier, then the more peaceful the world will be, the less war, and the more we can bring heaven onto earth. I'm hoping with this European tour to raise the consciousness of people to help you to remember your higher self, your more noble being, so that the atmosphere will change, the energy will become more loving, more noble, more higher dimension. And that's my prayer for world peace.
On May 15th, 1999, Supreme Master Ching Hai gave a lecture at the filled-to-capacity Komita's House of Chamber Music. Afterward, she toured the country on a humanitarian trip. There, Supreme Master Ching Hai visited orphanages and homes for the elderly in earthquake-stricken areas, to which she personally gave gifts and donations. She visited the holy Echmiadzin Church, where she was one of the very few invited to see the relics in the basement. Touched by her benevolence, a local high school was later named after her. In 2 short days, she had given $250,000 US for charities, and more importantly, she gave the gifts of hope and unconditional love.
At the end of the strenuous tour, Supreme Master Ching Hai convened with our association members in the United Kingdom for a retreat to pray for peace in the world. On the last day of the retreat, it was joyfully announced that a peace agreement was made in the affected region. The sound of peace echoed in hearts around the world that day. On occasions, our association members gather for international retreats to pray for the world and invite Supreme Master Ching Hai for her special presence and blessing. Moments between Master and disciples offer a precious chance to spiritual upliftment and are often cherished for joyous memories. The atmosphere is relaxed and blissful. Often, they are opportunities to celebrate different world holidays by lending the performing talents from different cultures. At the conclusion of retreats, our association members find their spirits renewed and rejuvenated. Supreme Master Ching Hai's words upon parting are remembered as that of a loving mother's.
Please do not forget to thank God Almighty, to thank all the masters of the past and the present who have sacrificed so much, who have loved us so much since the beginning of time, and have blessed us immensely, continuously, so that we always can walk peacefully and courageously in whichever way we have chosen for ourselves. The more we are thankful of the peace they have bestowed upon this planet and upon our path, the more peace we will realize, the more blessing, the more bliss. Everything better will come in our way, even in this physical planet, even in this difficult situation of the globe. We will always walk in peace and protection, and we will know that, we will feel that, we definitely realize that every minute of our day. And that's what I do. Okay, remember, bring your love with you. Give to your families, your friends, your country. Okay, guys? 再见啦. Đi về mạnh giỏi. Au revoir. Auf Wiedersehen. Adios. Love you very much.
The year 2000, marking a new millennium, was also commemorated with a moving international seminar in Thailand. Shortly afterward, Supreme Master Ching Hai embarked on another round of lectures in the Ocean of Love tour through Oceania and Asia. There were 9 stops, starting in New Zealand, then to Sri Lanka, Malaysia, Nepal, and China, and on to the Philippines, Formosa, Japan, and South Korea. Tens of thousands of people warmly welcomed the Master and her message of genuine joy and blessing. Through the tour, thousands of people began their practice of the Kuan Yin method. The tour finished in South Korea, where an international retreat was held with Supreme Master Ching Hai in the lush green Yangdong Mountain in mid-May 2000, just 1 month before the historic Summit of Goodwill took place between the leaders of the two Koreas.
The world has seen many positive developments in peace since Supreme Master Ching Hai's journey began more than 2 decades ago. In 2008, there have been notable moves toward harmony in African countries, such as the Ivory Coast, Uganda, Mali, and the Democratic Republic of Congo. The United States, Great Britain, and others continued planning further withdrawal of troops from Iraq. Groups in East Timor, Ivory Coast, and Colombia put down their arms for peace. Lebanese parties reached an accord with their new unified national government. Cooperation and friendship continue to expand between Formosa or Taiwan and China, and between Iran and Iraq. The United Nations Security Council voted unanimously, calling for countries to forbid the spread of large-scale weaponry.
I'm very proud to have met this lady because it shows the way she's trying to reapproach one people with another people, that she's trying to build bridges between various cultures, between various gender, between men and women, between women and women, between your culture and my culture, but by respecting her culture, my culture, and your culture.
She's taking care of me, like a mother taking care of her child.
She exemplifies the Aloha spirit, a Hawaiian. Aloha spirit is the same thing. I'm my brother's and sister's keeper, and she exemplifies that to a T. She also brings love around the world where there is hate. She brings hope where there is despair. And she brings understanding where there is misunderstanding. She is the light of a great person, an angel of mercy for all of us.
At this moment in our history, amidst adversity and uncertainty, there is also hope and great possibilities for a peaceful planet. Supreme Master Ching Hai has brought to us a timeless message about the nobler purpose of life. That is, to bless our own lives and the world with love, wisdom, and real peace. This is her gift for the soul, and it is her prayer for our planet.
We dedicate to you our heart, our love, and our utmost surrender, that whatever you shall arrange for us, it will be your will. Nevertheless, since we are in this physical condition, we have to endure a lot of illusionary hardship, which hinder our spirit and separate us from you. Therefore, pray, Lord, grant us some of the dignity of the basic peacefulness so that we may have enough calm, enough surrender to remember you every second of our life. Because you are glory, you are beauty, you are richness, you are the most fantastic vision of the perfection that we could ever remember. So let this perfection also be manifest on this planet. That shall be our prayer for today. Amen. Thank you.
As a child, Supreme Master Ching Hai was precocious and caring. She spent hours reading the world's scriptures, philosophies, and classics in her father's library since she was 7 years old, the same age that she composed her first poem. She was known from an early age for her compassion and sensitivity to others. At one time, there was a shortage of doctors and nurses in her town. She tended to the hospital patients after classes. Though just one person, and still a youth, she strived to do all she could to ease the suffering around her.
As a young adult, Supreme Master Ching Hai studied in England. She continued her altruistic activities by helping refugees and immigrants as an interpreter for the Red Cross. She lived simply and frugally, giving away whatever she earned with little thought for herself. Her friends in different countries affectionately called her Living Buddha or the Funny Saint because of her sense of humor and kindness toward people around her.
Whatever you do for others, purely for the sake of their feeling good and their own happiness, that is unconditional love. Not even consider having a reward from heaven or having a blessing. Unconditional love will make people feel dignified, deserved, and loved. And that is what we should offer to people. Not just money or kind words, but it has an effect like that if you exchange it with real love and respect.
Supreme Master Ching Hai exemplifies the universal message of love in action in her service to fellow human beings as well as animals. She has given over $20 million in unconditional donations to the less fortunate, victims of conflict and natural disasters, and in support of medical research, charitable groups, as well as spiritual, cultural, and artistic communities. The proceeds from her artistic endeavors have enabled her to create an independent source of funding for all her humanitarian activities.
In addition to direct assistance in natural disasters, Supreme Master Ching Hai also makes significant contributions to other charity and service organizations. They include the United Nations and the International Red Cross, the World Wildlife Fund, the Salvation Army, Doctors Without Borders, and the Not on Our Watch Foundation for Darfur refugees. She also generously donates to numerous animal protection organizations, orphanages, as well as other charitable groups helping war victims, patients with AIDS, disadvantaged students, people with disabilities, children, and the elderly. Animals without homes or proper care would also benefit from Supreme Master Ching Hai's quiet and loving contributions. When possible, Supreme Master Ching Hai herself would visit those in need. When her busy schedule did not allow for this, she thoughtfully sent our association members to bring aid. Wells were dug in Kenya for potable water. Winter clothes and school supplies were provided for orphans in Tajikistan. Thousands of tons of rice worth more than $2.1 million were shipped to North Korea and Cambodia during some of the worst famines in their history.
Supreme Master Ching Hai sympathizes with the pain of the refugees, be it victims of war in Rwanda, Chechnya and Bosnia, Sudan, Afghanistan or Kosovo, or refugees in camps in Darfur, Hong Kong, the Philippines, Thailand, Singapore, and others. She tirelessly worked to to secure the protection and dignity of Olaxese or Vietnamese refugees. Countless people have been recipients of her financial and material contributions.
Tôi cũng xin chân thành cảm ơn sâu sắc cái tấm lòng hỗ trợ của những người dân bị hoạn nạn lụt lội. Tôi cũng chân thành là gửi đến sư phụ là cảm ơn tấm lòng của sư phụ. Viền xa miền xuôi tới nơi đây gửi quà trao tặng cho chúng tôi là vùng lũ lụt.
Thank you with this blanket for my baby. Thank you so much.
阮这县乡差100年来水灾，这回水灾是100年来上严重的。今日非常感谢咱世界会，因为恁今日送来这物资，差不多有这的灾民才会当用20多天。
Sizlarning kelganingizlarga cho'ng rahmat. Bizga shuncha ko'mak ko'rsatib, pechkalarni berdingizlar, sizlarga rahmat. Mana Çinhay degan ejega da rahmat. Shuncha ellerga dori-darmek, jana boshqa narsalarni beribdir. Bizning atuzdan cho'ng rahmat deymiz. Qalay xalqning atidan.
Over the past 2 decades, a network of meditation centers of the Supreme Master Ching Hai International Association has sprung up in many countries for disciples as a place to practice with and support one another on the spiritual path. These centers have also served as a meeting point from which to conduct community services. Over the years, our association members have taken part in the global relief efforts led by Supreme Master Ching Hai.
Words cannot express our sorrow for the suffering people around the world. With divine help, may all humanity awaken to a better life by being kind to all on earth.
In times of disaster, Supreme Master Ching Hai immediately renders financial aid. She asks for our association's nearest relief team to do what they can, especially for the most gravely affected or those in the hardest to reach areas. Her donations are quickly used to purchase essential food and other emergency supplies. Speed and efficiency are key. Local authorities often willingly help the teams to locate the communities most in need. In most cases, the aid is directly delivered to each of the victims' hands.
In 1991, the Philippines faced widespread devastation when Mount Pinatubo erupted, followed by torrential floods. Supreme Master Ching Hai rushed assistance to the displaced residents with a donation of more than $1 million. In the United States, Supreme Master Ching Hai took time from her busy lecturing schedule to make personal visits to the homeless, from California on the West Coast to Florida in the East. In the great Midwestern floods of 1993, Supreme Master Ching Hai provided immediate substantial aid, for which she was recognized by 6 state governors and congratulated by then-President Bill Clinton and 2 former presidents of the United States, George Bush and Ronald Reagan. During the 9/11 tragedy in New York, USA, Supreme Master Ching Hai expressed her concern and asked our association members to help. Our association was one of the few groups granted access to Ground Zero for several weeks to serve hot vegetarian meals and coffee daily around the clock, mainly to the rescue workers. This endeavor, as well as other contributions made directly to injured or surviving family members, totaled to about $360,000 US.
I have a feeling that we need to go there, you know, not just with food and supplies, but we need to bring the Master Love there. It was very hard because of the air pollution, the dust, and then also smoke. But the work was so rewarding. Every time, you know, like we serve them coffee and sandwiches, they thank us so much.
Yeah, you were one of the few outside of the United States agencies that came and worked with us in this disaster relief. We appreciate Supreme Master Ching Hai and her work with us. We just pray that God would continue to work in her life, and thank you for all that you've done.
Millions of people were affected in 11 countries by the tsunami of December 2004. Supreme Master Ching Hai donated $60,000 US to relieve some of the most afflicted in Sri Lanka, where relatively little aid was arriving at that time. With each passing year, the intensifying effects of a fast-changing climate have been causing an unyielding series of natural disasters across the globe.
Floods in Southeast Asia.
Several hurricanes. That's Myanmar was devastated by a tropical cyclone. Unprecedented rainfall.
1.9 million residents. 5.9 magnitude earthquake.
Taiwan, oil spill, Iowa.
We never even thought something like this could happen. Not this far back in the neighborhood, you know. We're nowhere near the river.
Unfortunately, this year the calamity has been so severe, and never has the flood been declared as a national calamity like this has been done this year.
Fortunately, countries and organizations everywhere have extended their care to fellow humans in need. Billions of dollars in financial aid, millions of tons of food, tents, blankets and medicine, and helicopters and vehicles, along with rescue teams and animals, have been lovingly forthcoming.
In the year 2008 alone, Supreme Master Ching Hai donated more than $2 million US of her personal funds to meet the needs of disaster victims all over the world, from those affected by the floods in Sudan and Somalia, Bangladesh and Southeast Asia, hurricanes in Central and North America, snowstorms in North Korea and Tibet, to the earthquakes in Indonesia, Iran, Kyrgyzstan and Russia. So many people received benefit from her loving assistance. Some contribution Master does quietly and has never been reported. As our association members reside in nearly every country, they are able to respond to disasters very immediately and can communicate in the native language. This is generally a source of efficiency and comfort for the local residents.
cyclone is very big and the disaster is enormous. It is out of everybody's understanding. The effect is so big, and not only one country, not only a group of people can help. Every street, every corner has been affected. We do need help.
In May 2008, a cyclone in Myanmar, also known as Burma, left 1.9 million residents homeless and struggling for their survival. Supreme Master Ching Hai made a donation of $120,000. Combined with the funds from our international association members, a total of $181,000 was used to purchase vital supplies worth an equivalent of $4.4 million in value if bought in the United States, based on the local country's cost of living. With access to the most affected areas restricted to only Burmese nationals, our Myanmar Association members were able to enter and give ready relief packages both to the local authorities as well as directly to the victims. Our association members with medical skills provided free treatments as well.
There are World Food Program people, UN people, private group coming from outside. Maybe we are the first group. The town elder people, they come and greet us with their motorcycle, and then we come with the local people, and they happily accept our gifts. They said, we are very much in need of any help that is coming in, and the most needed thing is this plastic tarpaulin, so that they can give it to the people for their shelter. So this also is the right item that we brought in. They are very happy. They said, this we will do it on your behalf, as it is intended for the affected people.
Just days after the Myanmar cyclone, a 7.8 magnitude earthquake shook Sichuan province in China. Supreme Master Ching Hai immediately donated $50,000 for aid, and with the contributions from our worldwide association members, the relief fund totaled $340,000. With this contribution, an equivalent of approximately $1.5 million relief materials could be acquired if purchased in the United States, based on China's cost of living.
For both the Myanmar and China disasters, our association's relief team covered their own travel expenses worth several thousand $US per case. During relief activities, our association members contribute their own funds for traveling and related expenses in order to ensure that the entire donation reaches those who need it most. If unable to cover these costs, Supreme Master Ching Hai always reimburses the relief team in full and thanks them for their loving effort.
Supreme Master Ching Hai frequently asks for updates on the situation, closely monitoring the situation for any further assistance required. She personally reviews and responds to each case, such as in the following heartfelt message.
Thank you for your sincere efforts and love indeed. The suffering of Earth people are beyond imagination at times. What we can help is just a fraction of what we'd like to do. It's just if all join hands, then people would be more comforted and healed. We pray for them. Love, love, Ching Hai.
To all governments, organizations, and relief workers from every corner of the world, Supreme Master Ching Hai also conveys this message of appreciation. Thank you, all the international and national help that brings care and necessities to afflicted victims. Thank you, all the relief workers, for taking time and forsaking your own comfort, even traveling great distance on unfavorable roads and conditions, to bring love and assistance to people in time of need. May heaven bless you abundantly for your generosity and noble sacrifice. For her years of dedicated and selfless service, Supreme Master Ching Hai is recognized worldwide as a humanitarian. Relief recipients and local officials, touched by her unconditional aid, often spontaneously express their gratitude to Supreme Master Ching Hai.
I assure you that what you are doing is a big, big help, and we would like to thank you for that, and your organization, especially to Master Ching Hai.
I would like to thank the Supreme Master for helping us at this time of need, where children are a lack of water and the necessities of life to be able to survive. As you can see, the wind is blowing, and it's almost impossible to even stay. As you can see, we thank all of you for sending us the help that's necessary to help the Haitian people.
이제 돌에 붙어 있는 이런 그 기름들을 제거하는 그런 작업이 진행되고 있는데, 칭하이 무상사 회원들은 먼저 태풍 나리 때도 피해 복구에 앞장서서 이렇게 달려왔는데, 지금 이 태안 앞바다 기름 유출 이 사고에도 어김없이 찾아와줘서 역시 재난에는 그래도 칭하이 무상사가 함께 한다는 것을 새삼 다시 느끼게 되었습니다.
To the Supreme Master Ching Hai, I want to express my deepest thanks for the enormous support members of the Meditation Association have offered us. We are absolutely grateful for the gifts of caring and concern that have been given to us, the generous financial contribution and the personal expressions of caring and concern mean so very much to our workers, but very importantly to the people who've been affected directly by this horrible tragedy.
Quiero que tengan en cuenta que gente como esta no hay, como esta bella maestra, la suprema de Ching Hai. Dios te tiene que ayudar en esta gestión bonita para que puedas ayudar a quienes lo necesitan, para que puedas ayudar a quienes lo necesitan. Y este cantor mojanero te regala estos versitos, y por estos mercaditos mi Dios te regala el cielo.
All around the world, there has been an outpouring of support and generous contributions for fellow citizens, neighbors in need. Looking back on 2008, we saw the year start with the international community pledging billions of US dollars in humanitarian aid to Palestine. An anonymous person donated 130 million US dollars to Cyclone Sidr relief efforts in Bangladesh. It was the largest donation made to the country from an individual.
In May 2008, governments large and far and international humanitarian organizations rushed to the aid of cyclone victims in Myanmar. The same month, a massive earthquake in southwestern China was an unspeakable tragedy, but it also brought forth unforgettable acts of kindness of national and international rescue workers, medical teams, and donors for communities to rebuild. And throughout the year, more and more nonprofit groups, companies, and individuals joined the ranks of those believing that their small act can make a difference. They sent computers, bicycles, and microfinance funds that are making a substantial improvement to the lives of students, entrepreneurs, and farmers in Africa and other parts of the world. May we all join hands to care for one another until we are able to realize a safe and peaceful planet for all.
As a schoolgirl in Central Olac or Vietnam, whenever she saw injured animals, Supreme Master Ching Hai would nurse them to health before setting them free. As a householder in Germany, she carefully prepared plenty of food for the birds and other wildlife that flocked to her backyard in the winter, for she worried that they would not find enough to eat. She naturally did not eat meat, choosing to be vegetarian since her childhood.
In her 20s, Supreme Master Ching Hai composed several poignant poems about our gentle animal friends, including A Puppy's Heart and Words of a Hen. During this time period, she wrote a heart-rending poem entitled Words of a Piglet, which later inspired recitals, songs, and a musical. The verses, told from the point of view of a piglet speaking his last words to his mother and human caregiver, moved many people worldwide to become vegetarians for life.
Mẹ con đang âu yếm hay đổ xuống đời, hai chàng trai lực lưỡng vạm vỡ như hùng voi, dồn bẹp thân bé nhỏ vào giỏ ép rụng rơi, không phương gì chăn trở. Ôi địa ngục nào đây, tôi hãi hùng rên xiết. Mẹ ơi, mẹ cứu con, chủ ơi mau bảo vệ. Chú đời tôi non bé, mẹ tôi kêu nặng, mắt đẫm tràn thế lương. Trời cao không chưa hết nỗi đau đớn đoạn trường.
Supreme Master Ching Hai's immense love for animals resonates in many ways with ancient spiritual teachings of honoring the sanctity of all living beings, including animals.
We respect all lives in the creative plan of God. We can see to ourselves that all life resists suffering, resists death. Therefore, when we kill or see the animal kill, they're suffering and they try to run away. That means God empower them the instinct to want to live. So if we interfere and force their life away, we interfere with God's will. We should treat every being as much as we like to be treated. Then our life will be blessed with grace, with longevity, with wisdom.
In teaching the Kuan Yin method of meditation, Supreme Master Ching Hai has highlighted that an animal-free diet is the most conducive for spiritual practice. Many religious groups founded by the beloved masters of the past have vegetarianism as an integral part of their philosophy and practices, for it is an essential aspect of compassion.
When you go inside and meditate on God, He will show you that compassion is very important, and compassion extends to all beings as well, even animals. Then you will know how important it is. In the Bible, God has said that He makes man and make all the herbs in the field and all the vegetable for us as our food. And then He said, then I make animals also to befriend you, to help you, and you will rule over animals. But He did not mention that we should eat them.
vegetarianism is by no means just for spiritual practitioners. It is the way of life not only prescribed to us in world scriptures, but also increasingly recommended by experts today for a variety of reasons. By medical professionals for health, by environmentalists and climate scientists for sustainability, and by concerned leaders for the sake of easing global hunger and poverty.
In 2003, the National Institutes of Health of the federal government supported our work to do a careful test of a vegan diet for type 2 diabetes. And the results were wonderful. The vegans lost significantly more weight. Their blood sugar control improved dramatically, and their cholesterol levels fell, and other things improved as well. So it's clearly the preferable diet.
We've realized that it's good to plant trees, that we can absorb some of the carbon dioxide. We've learned enough to know that the breeding of hundreds and thousands of animals for food is terribly damaging to the environment, so more and more people are eating less meat or no meat.
I do what I do today as a hardcore vegan for the love of the animals. I know that no animal has to die for me to live.
The reasons to refrain from animal products are as diverse as they are compelling. Dr. Richard Swartz, Professor Emeritus of Mathematics and President of the Jewish Vegetarians of North America, summed them up as follows.
If a person concerned about his or her health, the most important thing they can do is to switch to a plant-based diet. If a person's concerned about animals, then the most important thing to be done is a vegetarian diet, because far, far more animals are mistreated in the production of food than in experiments and for fur and at circuses. If a person's concerned, and every person should be, about global warming, it's such a threat, and some scientists are saying that unless major changes occur, we could reach a tipping point, it could spin out of control with very devastating consequences. And for persons concerned about the efficient use of resources, again, they should switch to a vegetarian diet, because animal-based diet uses far more resources. If a person is concerned about hungry people, well, once again, we're feeding so much grain to animals while millions of people are starving, and many more are very affected by malnutrition. Finally, if a person is concerned about violence in the world war, there too, they should switch to vegetarian diets, because when you have a very wasteful kind of diet system, which uses far more resources than necessary, that creates shortages and makes war far more likely.
In recent years, more and more celebrities and government leaders have lent their respectable voices for the cause of compassion toward animals as well. In a video conference about climate change with Supreme Master television staff, Supreme Master Ching Hai commented on the apparent trend of accomplished public figures, whether in film, sports, or politics, who are advocating for the better treatment and regard of our animal co-inhabitants.
They're very smart. You can tell by the way they talk and the way they're thinking. They express their own individual opinion. And smart people, they choose a compassionate lifestyle, healthy lifestyle. They choose vegetarianism out of their heartfelt love and compassion for the innocent co-inhabitant animals, and wish to terminate their suffering and to live their life without blood on their hands. They know peace begins on our table. And they want to contribute to peace and foster love among all species. They could have everything, yet they only take what they need and what brings joy and friendship, not those that hurts and destroy. You must know that these are saints on earth in immortal gods, and they are here to bless the world by their noble deeds, demeanor, and example.
In her own life, Supreme Master Ching Hai has adopted a number of dogs and birds in need of a loving home. Despite her busy schedule, she has given them all her devoted care so that they may have a new chance at a happier life. They in turn have shared this love with the world through delightful books written by Supreme Master Ching Hai.
In 2007, Supreme Master Ching Hai's books, The Dogs in My Life and The Birds in My Life, were released and quickly became #1 international bestsellers on the world's largest online bookstore, Amazon.com. Soon afterward, in 2008, The Noble Wilds, another fantastic book about nature and animals, written and photographed by Supreme Master Ching Hai, joined the top ranks.
I found it very interesting and made me think of a lot of things that I hadn't thought of before.
I think they're brilliant, absolutely brilliant. I'm just so glad that someone is trying to get the message across worldwide that we just don't eat animals, we love animals.
So this is something a completely different world. Gives peace of mind. I really like it, I really like it.
The beautifully illustrated books help readers encounter for the first time some truths about these other species with whom we share the earth, the incredible scope of their divine intelligence, and the noble purpose they came to our planet to fulfill. Through telepathic communication with her animal companions, as well as those in the wild, a window is opened into the secret inner world of our animal co-inhabitants. In a live video conference celebrating these #1 international best-selling books, Supreme Master Ching Hai shares her profound insights.
As you can well see, some of them are there to help people with their physical need in areas that a good strength is required. And some of them are also there not just for physical help, but to ward off bad influences in general, to protect their human companions or their caretakers or their animal companions by their presence alone, because they do have divine invisible power because they are connected with the divine. Some of the animals are there to convey messages of good news that will be coming to you, or warning of misfortunes ahead. Well, that if we can listen. Many people are too busy to hear what their animals' friends telling them. Otherwise, some they just quietly bless their caretakers with good luck, good health, with fortune, with happiness, even spiritual upliftment, etc., etc. There's no end to what an animal can and will do for the near and loved humans or their companions.
Starting with the lovable animals introduced in her books, it is Supreme Master Ching Hai's hope that our circle of love and respect could expand to encompass all beings, including cows, pigs, chickens, turkeys, and fish.
Even the fish in the river, the fish in the lakes, the wild ducks, they bring blessing to your house, to your lives, and they bring some inspiration invisibly to your knowing, but their presence will evoke in you something more than just a mundane occupation about food and clothes. And you will just get inspiration about something or answer to some question which you did not know before.
Shalom, Master Ching Hai. I'd like to ask you a question. How do animals perceive their world different from the way we do? And since you communicate with them, I'd like to tell me how they feel, what they think. Thank you.
Shalom. Good question, good question. Although they look different from us, they also have similar outlook like we do. They want love, they want happiness, just like we do. But their world is simple, as you can observe. Their needs are few. They depend absolutely on divine grace, and they thrive on love. Love to them is the most and the only important thing. Love from God, love from human companion, love from each other.
If we learn to celebrate life, connect to our higher belief systems,
like Supreme Master Ching Hai has done, it's not until then that we can be leaders like she is. And once we do that, then we can really, truly tell the measure of who we are as a society by how we treat our animals, and not seeing certain animals as pets and others as food. They're all sentient beings that deserve the same amount of respect as our children and as ourselves.
Thank you for the work you've done and are doing, and are encouraging others to do, to awaken humanity to its responsibility, to live a compassionate life, and to do so in honoring of the Spirit in all beings.
Thanks to Supreme Master Ching Hai's inspiring teachings and noble example, millions of people around the world have become vegetarians or vegans. Our association members, most of whom were not vegetarian before, have personally experienced their own lives change through the adoption of the purifying vegetarian diet.
Concerned about the epidemics spreading among animals and humans alike, Supreme Master Ching Hai personally designed the alternative living flyer that presents the benefits of vegetarianism in a friendly and informative manner.
The ecological reasons for vegetarianism have never been more vital than in this time of planetary climate change. Global warming poses a real and measurable threat to the survival of all lives, human and animal alike. At a time when climate change issues have appeared to be very complex, Supreme Master Ching Hai has provided a rare clarity in the form of a simple yet powerful solution. That is, to cease direct and indirect forms of killing. For to beget life, we must grant it until there is no longer cause for us to pay for our harmful actions.
Every action provokes a reaction. We all know that. And we also what we reap. So if we let live the animals, heaven will let us live. That's all I can say. Vegetarian diet, animal-free products, everything to do with animals, we stay away. We have to treat animals with kindness the way we treat our own children and ourselves. Please stay away from all animal product and cruelty to human and all beings on this planet. Then we will keep this planet. Not only we will keep this planet, but this planet will become more beautiful, more abundant, more glorious, more happy for everyone to enjoy.
A superb cook, in sharing with the world the joy of vegetarian cuisine, Supreme Master Ching Hai has given cooking demonstrations at gatherings with our association members. The publication of the cookbook Supreme Kitchen, a collection of international cuisines, was innovated by Supreme Master Ching Hai herself. In addition, Supreme Master Ching Hai has graciously demonstrated delicious vegetarian cooking on the highly popular show, A Gift of Love, Simple and Nutritious Cooking with Supreme Master Ching Hai.
Our association members have also regularly organized vegetarian cooking classes. Over the years, they have actively participated in community fairs, festivals, and expos to share the benefits of this alternative way of living. Information booths are set up with free information about vegetarianism, as well as delicious sample vegetarian foods. It is not a rare sight to see visitors in queue to taste the food, expressing their surprised delight at how tasty animal-free foods can be. In addition, Supreme Master Ching Hai has inspired countless vegetarian restaurants that have been opened over the years by association members. The award-winning International Vegetarian House, inaugurated in 1994 in San Jose, California, USA, is one example of how our association members have shared the beneficial alternative way of living with their communities.
She is the ocean of compassion. The human race is facing many challenges, and the Supreme Master is showing the path for our survival and the survival of our planet. A change from a meat-based diet to a vegetarian and vegan diet is paramount for a compassionate world, as is emphasized by the Supreme Master again and again. May the Supreme Master continue to guide us. May she lead us towards the righteous action and good karma, so that our lives serve a positive purpose.
I would like to thank her particularly for her promotion of vegetarianism around the world. She is doing such a tremendously valuable job of that and raising the consciousness of the whole earth, and we will all very, very peacefully move into a society where there is no killing and where people are able to live at peace with animals just like we once did.
2008 was a heartening year in vegetarian news around the world. More and more governments are encouraging their young people to eat more fruits and vegetables for their health. In the Middle East, the United Arab Emirates held its first ever National Vegetarian Week. A group of U.S. senators passed a resolution promoting vegetarian options in school cafeterias. From Asia to the Americas and Europe, in the wake of a series of major recalls of contaminated meat, and as a smart way of coping with the year's rising food prices, millions showed new interest in alternative protein products.
And, as Supreme Master Ching Hai lovingly shared with our association members several times throughout the year, the number of people joining in the compassionate plant-based diet to help the planet is increasing. Surely these are signs of a more healthy, sustainable, and loving future. A vision of this future can be found perhaps in the venue of a nearby Loving Hut, where vegan is vogue. Loving Hut is an international family of chic vegan fast food restaurants whose concept was inspired by Supreme Master Ching Hai's loving support for a vegetarian diet accessible for all.
I am actually new vegetarian, so I'm still kind of like exploring what, options.
Within just half a year, our association members have opened dozens of new Loving Hut locales in Formosa or Taiwan, the USA, Hong Kong, Japan, Indonesia, Singapore, South Korea, Malaysia, Australia, and counting.
Oh, it's absolutely fantastic. Yeah, right here's the barbecue dish, and if I were served it, I wouldn't even know that it was vegetarian. It's that similar to the actual barbecue pork.
またはデザートではバナナケーキや豆乳アイスなどを置いております。ビーガン対応と知らずに食べていただいたお客様も結構いらっしゃるのですが。
Through a variety of delicious international cuisines, Loving Hut has become popular for its tasty, balanced meals, enjoyed in a bright and pleasant atmosphere, especially offering an easy starting point for those who want to transition towards plant-based diets.
在这边用餐感觉很舒适，
味道也不错，价钱吧很经济实惠，很符合现代的健康食品的那个宗旨。
很轻食，然后它用的材料又都是很环保，然后吃素能够救地球。
Great for families. This is our third time at Love and Hut in the last day and a half, and we are just so thrilled that there's a great vegan place to eat in the neighborhood.
이게 되게 분위기도 좋고요. 이제 먹어보니까 정말 제가 앞으로도 비건을 계속 할 수 있을 것 같다는 생각이 들었어요.
Overall, fantastic.
Yummy.
We would like to thank Supreme Master Qinghai for all her guidance and encouragement for humankind as we join hands in a return to a compassionate and joyful lifestyle.
Be veg, go green, save our planet!
May kindness and love among all beings light our way to a better, more peaceful world.